Hi everyone, this is Jay Johnson from dailytexture.com. I'm having my morning coffee here and I'm working with the next new collection, Unleashed 2, which is a collection of watercolor designs. And I wanted to take you through a little tour of this collection and show you how I'm going to work with a deer image that I photographed yesterday. The Unleashed 2 collection features one design in 12 colors and one mask, just like Unleashed 1. We have a wide range of colors. This is my guy I'm going to work with in a tutorial. Let's see if I can make him into a piece of art. He's too beautiful not to. This is the first texture in the collection. This was the scanned watercolor texture. And then I've changed the colors and made some really appealing different color combinations which will go with a wide variety of your images. And you can stack these on top of one another, change layer modes, blend lower opacity, mix and match them together, mask away parts of it, keep certain splatters you want. There's just all kinds of things you can do with these. You can also mix like the Unleashed 2 ones with the Unleashed 1 ones to create more interest. And basically these are giving you a way to create really unique and individual pieces of art by the way you choose to work with them. Here's the mask that I've made. So that was just a little quick tour of the collection. I am in Paint Shop Pro 10, which is a really old version. And I have my deer image open. And I think that he would look well with this texture from the collection, just simply because of his colors. So my goal is to blend him with this. But I'm going to do this a little differently. Normally I would go right into Topaz Photo FX Lab and start masking away his background. I don't really feel like masking away very much around these horns. They're very tedious and I just don't feel like doing it. So I thought it would be interesting to actually take a portion of his image to place in here. What I'm going to do is use the mask from the collection to create an exact mask of him to go in this image over here, or in the texture over here. Now he is a smaller size. He's 4800 by 3200. The texture is 6000 by 4000. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do with him. I may just resize him up to match. So let's take care of that. He needs to be 6000 by 4000. And I'm going to adjust all his details in Topaz. So now he is the exact same size as the texture and the mask. So I'm going to apply this mask to this image. And then I'm going to save that as a PNG file. And I'm going to show you how I do that right here. I click on the right click on the main layer and click New Mask Layer and From Image. Now, I made a video recently on how to make masks from your unpredictable textures, and a lot of people use Photoshop Elements. The process in that program is a little different. I don't use those programs, but I'm thinking what you'll need to do in those programs is you will need to, there's a little button down here in Photoshop down at the bottom to create a new mask layer. I'm thinking you'll need to create a new mask layer which will show up right here. And then you will need to take this and copy this. And then you'll come back here, and where this new mask layer is, you will select that mask layer. And you will paste this onto the new mask layer you've just set up over here to make it work the way I'm making it work here. This program's a little different. So, but basically that's what you want to do. You want to apply this mask to your image. And the way I've seen to do that in some videos I watched on YouTube on Photoshop and Photoshop Elements is you will need to copy that black and white image into your layer mask that you opened up over here. So that's probably the way it's going to work for you guys who use those programs. In my program, I just create a new mask layer from the image. And I pick which image. I have 3 images open, so I need to click the one that says mask, and I need to click OK. And there I have it. I have an exact mask that is matching this, which is going to go on this. So at this point, I want to save this as a PNG file because I'm going to go into Topaz to do the rest of my editing. So I'm going to merge my group, and it's still got the transparent background, so I want to save it as a PNG file. So I'm going to rename it. You save it as a PNG so it will maintain the transparent background. And this just takes a little while. I'm waiting on it to process here. Okay, it's processed and it's saved. And it's got a transparent background. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to close the mask. Here's the texture I'm going to try to work with. I'm going to go into Photo FX Lab. My computer's running slow. There we go. So now I'm in Topaz Photo FX Lab, which is where I normally work. I have the texture layer open. Now I'm going to open up the go to Unleash 2, and I'm going to open up that PNG I saved of the deer. There. Now he is exactly masked to this. Now what I want to do here is I want to bring some of this texture into his background. But first, I'm going to edit him. I am going to denoise him. Since I did enlarge the image a little bit, it's got more noise in it. So I'm using Topaz Denoise, and I like the moderate one because it doesn't take away too much detail, but it takes away all that grittiness. I'm going to click OK down at the bottom. Yes, my computer is running slow this morning. It hasn't had its coffee like I am. Plus, I'm running a huge backup in the background, and that could be slowing things down. Oh, come on. There we go. Now he is denoised. Now I'm going to boost his clarity a little bit, sharpen him up. So I'm going to click Topaz Clarity. And I like fur and feathers, as you guys know. That boosts his clarity a little. I'm going to click OK. This guy was so fun yesterday. It was very, very dull, cloudy light yesterday and raining, and the most people wouldn't go out in that, but I love to because the animals get really wild, and this guy was chasing a doe, and he was quite fun. All right, I've boosted his clarity. I might raise his exposure a little bit, brighten him up. There we go. Now, of course, as you can see, because I applied a mask to him, he is masked exactly to the textured background. But what I'm going to do is I am going to mask away some more. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, I'm going to mask away some more and actually bring in the exact texture into him. But I'm not going to do it real strongly when I get close to him. I don't want to have to mask around those horns. I'm going to lower the flow with a big brush and just gently get in here and bring in some of this texture like this. You can still see some of his background. Lower the brush size. Get around the horns, but I'm not going to mask around him exactly because I want some of his original background to show with the grasses and everything. Normally I'd get rid of the original background, but I really like this one. Just bringing that, by masking away on his layer, I'm bringing the original texture in while still leaving hints of the background. And I don't have to mask around those horns exactly when I do this. There. Now I kind of like the way that looks. I could resize him if I wanted to, but I don't know how that'll work. Might work okay if I move him around. Move him up here. Maybe size him down just a little. And maybe do a little bit more masking because it brought back some of this gray right here, which I don't want. So I'm going right up to him, but I'm not masking over him. Except for down here. I am masking over his legs a little bit, just so there's not such a harsh transition. And I'll mask over his back just a little and bring some of that texture into him and his neck. There. Now at this point I can decide if I want to dress him up a little more. I don't like these lines right here showing from the background where the grass was. So I'm going to get rid of that. Go with a smaller brush, get in a little tighter. Just go right up to the horns, but not masking around them specifically. Maybe a little smaller and go in here a couple times. I'm working at a low opacity, so I still see some black line right here in that piece of grass. There's some grass pieces there I don't like. Yeah, see, I'm getting in close to the horns now. I said I wasn't going to mask around them exactly, and here I am getting there tight and doing that. And let me go around the outside edge again with a stronger, maybe not that strong, just a little stronger tapping. There. All right. Now I can decide whether I like this texture as a background or whether I want to try a different one. Let's try a different one. Let's try this lighter colored one. And that looks pretty. Not so sure I like it as well as the other one. Let's try this one. Yeah, not sure I like that. However, that one blended with the first one may work. Let me get rid of the middle one. Let me play with the blending mode on here. See, it's real dark brown. And if I use this one, number 2i, on top and adjust the opacity, I can bring in some green tones, which kind of, he's got a little green in his background, which I kept in there. And it kind of tones that down just a little bit. So that's 38%. So this is before, this is after. Maybe lower that to closer to 30%. Just tones it down just a little bit. Now I'm going to duplicate that and stick it on top. See what I can come up with. Let's go with a soft light layer mode. It takes away too much of him. Maybe not. Alright, I said that you could blend these with the Unleashed ones. So let's pull from that file. Go to Unleashed 1 and pick one. See if I can get some interesting markings. Here's a real light colored one. Let's try this. And I'm putting this on top. Set to, let's find a good layer mode. Just scanning through to see if anything's interesting. Soft light is one of my favorites. Kind of brightens things up, brings a little bit of that texture in at about 50%. Maybe make this a little bigger. Smaller, bigger, a little bigger. So that kind of brightens things up a little. Let's see if there's another one I could pull that might be interesting. Let's go back to Unleash 2. And let's pull let's pull this one, C. Now this is on top, and let's try some different layer modes. This is making it too golden. Multiply darkens things up a little. Let's see what happens if I stretch this and maybe flip it around. Oh, that gives it a neat look. But it darkens him down too much, which I don't like. Let me move it underneath him. Maybe a little too much. I might be going a little too crazy. But you can move these around, and I mean, I could mask this away. Actually, let me do something. Let me open up the layer mask on top and set it to a different layer mode. See if that'll work. Not really. Well, no. Not really. I don't like that. Okay. No, I'm going to skip that. I think that's going a little too much. I liked what I did here with bringing in Unleashed 1K in and setting it to soft light. It really brightened him up. In fact, I may go a little higher with that layer mode to about 70%. Okay, I like that. Now I'm going to click from stack and merge all this. And then play with it some more. Alright, now I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to go back to Topaz Clarity. And I'm going to use Fern Feathers again, which is going to boost him up some more with the detail. But I don't want the detail boosted in the texture as much. So I'm going to click OK and accept it, but then I'm going to invert the layer mask on that file. And then I'm going to brush that clarity adjustment in where I want it, on him only. Alright, now I'm going to invert the mask. I'm going to go the other direction, and I'm just going to brush that clarity adjustment in on him to pump up his clarity but leave the texture area alone. See, my little mask is the shape of him. Get around his ears and his horns. In this case, I do want them to be a little sharper, so I'm going to allow the clarity adjustment around his horns to make him stand out a little more. Now see, my little mask looks exactly the shape of the deer. So this is what we did before, and this is the clarity adjustment just on him, because I inverted the mask and then brushed him back. So doesn't have the clarity adjustment here, just here, which makes him stand out a little more. And I'm going to click from stack again. And at this point I get to decide whether I want to go into Topaz Impression and do anything with it, or leave him alone. I really don't think I want to do Impression, but you could do that, which would give a whole different painterly effect to everything. I kind of like him the way he is. Might see if I could bring another splatter or two in these areas. So let me go back to the original texture and enlarge it, flip it. Oh, it'd be kind of neat to have some of this down here. Move it around. Let's see if I do multiply, overlay, soft light. Probably going to be multiply. Bring some of those splatters down around here, which I kind of like. Or I could just leave it on normal. Mask it all away by inverting it. And then see if I could bring some of it back. Big brush, low opacity. Just tap where I want it. Down here in this corner. Let's raise that flow up. Just tap the whole thing. Go all the way around the edge, see what happens. That adds some more splatters. Might be a little too much, so we'll go back the other way. Bring back some of the original part on top. Because I didn't really need I don't need the extra splatters. I just wanted to see if I could add some down here. Don't really need those. So now I have added some splatters right here, and I could lower the opacity, or I could change that maybe to multiply, or darken. Still, there's too much of a different transition there. I'm not sure if I like that. I think I liked it the way it was, since it had kind of changed his color tones. But you see what I'm talking about. You can bring different ones in and then just mask away. Like if you have a certain splatter of paint you want to add to this, you can bring it in by doing that. But I like him just the way he is right there. I think that looks quite fun. I'm trying to decide if I want to do any lighting adjustments with lens effects. Oh, I think I like him the way he is. I think I'm going to save him as this. So I'm going to click OK. But you can really have fun with these. I'm making a whole bunch of these. And watch this. There he is. See, doesn't that look nice? Really fun piece of art. Let me open up the original. There's his original. And now he's turned into art. Isn't that just too fun? I think I'm ready to save him. Now see, I did this on the texture layer, so it's pulling that name. So I'll make sure to save as and give him his own name once I decide on a title. But like I said, I'm making a bunch of these Unleashed collections. And you can mix and match them and put them together and try different layer modes and just really come up with some fun designs from these. And I hope that you enjoy them as much as I enjoy creating them. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.